Welcome to Real Conversations, because in today's episode, I'm going to talk to Serena. Because the thing is that when people start an online business, they always think it has to look a certain way. And Serena is one of those people that has just completely changed the game. So Serena, I want you to just share a little bit of where you were before you started online.
Thanks, Lizelle. Appreciate the opportunity to share my story. Before I started online, I was completely in a place that I would wish nobody to get to, because what happened is I lost everything. So I was sitting in a small coastal town. There was no other option for me to go online because there was simply no option. So if you tell me you could have gotten and looked for a job, there was literally no options for me. So I knew that I had to go online, and that is how I actually desperately got my feet in the online space.
That is so awesome. So tell me, what was one of your biggest frustrations before you started?
I've been in the online space before, a few years back. And my biggest frustration back then was once you get into a program, you actually see what you still need. And I got stuck along the way in many of those things. And when I started and I knew I had to go back in, what my frustration was that I was going to get stuck again. And when I started, actually, I did get stuck in exactly the same problem. But then I came across your program, and things completely changed for me, because your program absolutely gave me everything that I was battling with all the other things that I was busy with before. It gave me the things that stole my time, the things where I got stuck. It showed me exactly what to do. So when I say the frustration that I had before, it was I didn't know how to get over obstacles that were still inside the solutions that were sold to me before. And with your program, it was completely different.
So you did something completely out of the ordinary. I'm saying out of the ordinary because a lot of people get into the online space to maybe make some extra income. Okay, they buy something that they can resell, or they use PLR products or whatever, just to get online. And initially, that's the way you started, yes. Right? Initially. But since then, it's grown into something super amazing. Tell us about that.
Okay, I did start making money because I did have to survive. And with DMS, I was able to earn quite a lot of income in a short period of time once it clicked for me. But my background is I am a trained psychometrist, and I was always so intrigued with the mind. And the way that I've lived my life is I always felt like I was a fish swimming upstream. I always felt that I'm not always fitting into everything that was given to me. And even in the online space, I found myself almost like not fitting in. I can't do what everybody else is doing. And I was looking for a way to express myself differently, but authentically to who I am. And I was chewing on this, and how this product of mine actually came to being was when you actually called us out before we started our mastermind. And you said in the very first meeting that we had, you said, "Hello, CEOs. From now on, I'm going to address you as a CEO." And I just sat there, and in my mind, I couldn't comprehend the concept of me seeing myself as a CEO. And wow. Knowing that we are moving into this new year with all these new challenges and stuff that I committed to, I knew I had to do something to change that for me, because the quote that I live by is, whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. And I realized if I'm not choosing to embody this new persona and find a way to make that more practical for me, there's no way that I'll be able to step into this new season of mine. And that is how my product came to be, because I was thinking, how on earth am I going to be able to manage my mindset when it's run by my subconscious? So I created a tool, I call it Ava, and Ava catches my thoughts in real time. And that has been the launch pad for my future, because it connected all the dots of who I am. Now I'm working in the online space with a product that is authentically who I am. I love it. I get to help people, and it is shown that you don't have to do online business like everybody else. But having a base, learning how to do it, I will be forever grateful for DMS, because DMS is what got me here.
I love that. Your story is amazing because I remember meeting you and, you know, being a little bit insecure and just this woman that you've grown into. Because you see a lot of people in the online space, they think starting with something that's ready-made is, I don't want to buy a product to sell a product. But you are such a great example of not buying a product to sell a product, of buying a product, a course, learning the skills so that you can create your own thing. So tell me a little bit about what was one of the things that, or was there ever a time when you started with creating Ava that you thought, this might not work out for me?
I think it's a constant thought that I have to catch and work with it. And I want to give you an example of how it actually played out. In the beginning of the year, when I got Ava and I was so excited and I was convinced and I acted on that with fast decision. And it moved, and it was the impact that she made was so amazing. And then there came a time that I started to doubt. And the moment I started doubting, I could see the effect it had on my business. And that made me so aware of the fact that the smallest thought of doubt can absolutely cancel out all the hard work that you've done. So if you ask me, was there ever a time? Constantly, I have to catch my thoughts, and constantly I have to retrain myself to move up to that next level of thinking, of being, of embodying the new version of who I want to become and what the new season is requiring me to step into. But yes, I am now much faster in catching it and much faster in resisting it and much faster in reframing that. Because when those doubting thoughts come up, I always ask, what is it showing me and how can this serve me? So I'm now much faster in turning things around, whereas before it would have taken me down a spiral and I would have gotten stuck, and at the end of the day, then I have to start again. So yes, absolutely, still deal with it, but I'll deal with it differently now.
So what would you say to the person watching that is now feeling overwhelmed, feeling like she's feeling a little bit lost? She would also love to create what you've created in the sense of that independency, that the online business, taking her power back. What would you say to her?
Oh, if I could look a woman in the eyes and I can tell her, just stop being afraid of making mistakes, because the amount of mistakes I have made has actually led me to this point. If I didn't do the stuff the wrong way, my whole journey wouldn't have pushed me into this lane. So I look at it, when you are there so desperately feeling that you have lost your chance. I started this at almost 50. And I just want to say, stop being afraid of making mistakes, because it's the very mistakes that is pointing you towards where you need to go. And then more than that, actually, the one thing that I want to shout out from the rooftops is be you. Be authentically who you are. Don't try and be a copy and paste of somebody else out there. Just find your voice and find your being and own that. And this is what this mastermind was all about, is own your space. But if you don't know who you are, how can you embody that in a way that you can be proud of it and actually stand your shoes full? Because there will always be something, and that is exactly what my passion is. What I've now built is to help, firstly, myself, because I've actually built it for me. I didn't build this for somebody else. It just happened to be. So that's why I'm saying, stop being afraid and go after what burns in your heart, because that will open up the way for you, that you might look back on in a few months' time and say, I never saw this coming, but wow, I am passionately, purposefully inside the calling of my life.
Oh, I love that. That's so amazing. Tell me regarding support, like I know like DMS is amazing with that. I know that, right? What is the difference in someone having support and someone that don't?
Oh, my word. I live, as I said, in a small coastal town, almost in isolation, because there is nobody around me that you can, number one, bounce things off. And they say, look at the 5 people you hang around with, and they tell you who you're going to be. And this is the kind of support that you will find inside DMS. There are people that are pulling you higher, calling you out in love, but absolutely have your best interest, and the big focus is growth. They want you to succeed. They're not there, they're not holding back. The support is this, it's every single day of the week there's support. You choose actually where it is that you want to hone in on. So I just want to say, if it wasn't for DMS, if it wasn't for the people like you, everybody that I've met in the journey, those are my people in my life. Those are my friends. Those are the people that I get to do live with virtually. And this weekend we got to meet them in person. But those are the people that form who I am and who I am becoming. So with regards to support, it's not a thing that you're going to buy something and you're going to be left by yourself. If that happens, that's your own fault, because then you're not plugging into what is being offered.
I love that. And on that, I want to ask you this question, because a lot of people would get inside a community, get inside a program, get inside a course, and then say, that didn't work for me, there is no support, or my mentor didn't look after me. What is your take on that?
My take on it is whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. So if you are stuck, it's your choice to stay stuck. It is accountability of every single person. You decide the life that you want to live. Nobody's going to spoon feed you. What we have as a product, you need nothing more, nothing. But if you do not take accountability for the life that you want, then you're going to live the life that you choose. And that's, I always say to people, whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. So if you are unhappy with not getting support, be the support to somebody else. If you're unhappy that you thought it was something else, go figure out what it is that you need and go put that in. Make a plan. Be resourceful and stop complaining. That is something I can't actually deal with people complaining, because there's always a solution. What's the solution? What is this showing you? How can this make you better? So yeah, absolutely.
I love that. So I want to put the link down to her, Ava, because it really is something that has been changing a lot of people, because mindset is so important. You're either going to choose to win or you're going to choose to lose. And sometimes we're making that unconscious decision and we don't realize it. Okay. So to end off, I want to ask you to look into the camera and speak to that person who was where you were not long ago.
Oh, my word, I want to speak to you, girl. And I might even get emotional about this, because I never, ever would have thought that I'll be sitting here. If you're in a place where you are feeling that you have hit rock bottom, like you can't even put that into words, let me be a reminder for you that anything is possible, but you have to decide that this is what you want. And within DMS, within the online space, you're going to get everything that you need. You're going to get the support. When I lost everything, these people were my peers. These people were the people that believed in me, that called out the gold in me. And I'm calling the gold out in you today. Do not dare give up on yourself before you have tried this, and go all out without excuses, without anything that's going to stand in your way. And I promise you, the life that you want to live is within reach if you decide today that this is what you want. And I'm living proof of that.
Oh, I want to cry. This is so good.